A lot of people don't put value and emphasis on communication at work, and we're here saying, here are some tips, because whether you're in leadership or if you're a team member, you want to ensure that there's an open and free-flowing communication culture at your job. Hi, I'm Elitia.
And I'm Cullen, your favorite relationship coaches.
And today we're sharing tips on how to improve your communication at work. The reason that you want to have good communication at work is twofold. If you're in leadership, you want open and free-flowing communication at work because you're going to have a pulse on the culture. You're going to hear through that communication what's going on within the organization. If you're an employee, you'll have more engagement with your colleagues when you have that good communication at work, right? It also helps whether you are managing up or across departments. You want to have that collaboration and engagement across the board. And so having good communication skills at work is going to be helpful in nourishing that and maintaining it. When conflict comes up, communication is going to be the way through the conflict. One of the first tips is clarity. We want you to go in and always maintain clear terms. Sometimes people allow scope creep to set in. Sometimes people see what their colleagues are doing and want to try new things, but we want you to always pause and talk with yourself. Wait, am I clear on what I'm bringing to the job? Am I clear on what they're giving me in return? If you're not clear on any of those, it's time for you to pause and make some very clear terms. Outline for yourself what you're bringing to the organization and what you're getting in return. Be clear.
Yes, right. This is going to be rooted in you actually knowing your true value. And that may sound like that's a common thing, but it's not. It's like a lot of people, be honest now, a lot of people when they get hired, they're excited and they actually, we don't even have to go to when you're hired. When they're interviewed and they get and when somebody's interested in them, they get excited about it, and then they never bother to vet. What we're saying is just like they are like trying to find out about you and find out what your worth is to them. Know your worth going in and find out what their worth is to you, and if it's a match.
Yeah, another part of your clarity practice, once you're understanding what you bring to the organization and what they're giving back, we want you to also practice that communication with your colleagues. But in order to ensure that you have clear communication, you may have to write it down first. We want you to role play with a family member or a friend. We want you to ensure that when you are communicating with your colleagues, even if it's leadership, that you have a question. Ask for what you need. You're not just shooting the breeze all the time. You usually want something. So make sure the question is succinct and it's in your communication. Finally, you want to make sure that you're appreciating that they heard you, right? Ensure that your communication has opportunity to just thank your colleague, your leader, your fellow team member for engaging in that communication circle with you.
Yeah, as the communicator, it's your responsibility to confirm that your message landed.
So for another tip is be confident. Being confident is being your own advocate. A lot of times people are in the workplace and allow work to happen to them. It's a victim mentality. I just come here to do what I have to do and go home, right? We want you not to shy away from those opportunities to speak up. And the more you step into the discomfort of it, the more you advocate of yourself, the better you'll be. So continue your practice and confidence and build that mastery in being your advocate. People want to know that you are enjoying the workplace. And what better way to let them know than them seeing your confidence as you're advocating for your needs.
And that you're getting a grasp of the culture, and confidence is demonstrated mastery. So as you know, when they start to see your execution improving, that speaks volumes. Trust me, it carries no weight when you go up and tell somebody, I'm getting the hang of it. It carries way more weight when they actually see it in practice. One of the things that's extremely important, and this tracks back to your interview. You know, if you're vetting properly, you will have set the stage for this to actually work even better. But let's say you don't, and you're in the workplace now. Regardless, you're in there. It passed your vetting process, and if you're in there, I'm telling you, it's your responsibility to know your value and hold that space. If you go in knowing your value, the stage is gonna be set better for you. Because when you do, you're less likely to be a victim of bullying and overall just going with the flow with stuff that you never signed on for.
Yeah, bullying has seeped into a lot of workplaces and it's not to be tolerated, but when you are out of touch with your value, which is why this is an important tip to note, you won't allow it to set in, and you advocate for yourself, and you'll understand that when you know your value and you allow others to step into their value and not be bullied, then it helps the entire culture stay healthy. The opposite of that is the hotbed for a toxic culture. So knowing your value is important because it will diminish all seeds of bullying, which again translate into a dysfunctional work culture. You don't want that.
Or just you going down further into in a direction that isn't favorable for you. You won't be afraid to call it and say, yeah, this isn't what I thought it was, but despite all my best efforts, it's still going into a toxic place. As business owners and our relationship coaches, the last thing my wife and I want to do is be hypocrites. From inception, we hire great people and let them go do what they do, and we let them know the keys are yours, and then we communicate regularly with them.
When they come on board, we have frequent check-ins. We're asking a lot of questions basically because we're listening. And we want to understand, is it a good fit? Because, from interviewing and onboarding on through you actually in the weeds, we understand that there may be some different mindsets, some shifts. We even understand scope creep may happen. And so we don't want to show up hypocritical in the work and then teach about healthy communication, right? And so we're having those frequent check-ins. We ask for their input before we make major decisions, especially the ones that's going to impact them. And we share in the rewards. Like oftentimes, if there's conflict, we want them to have the space, the opportunity, and the grace to bring it up. But more so, the comfortability to just know that is not a big deal. Let's have a conversation. So we model health communication in our workplace. As business owners and relationship coaches, we want to show up authentically in it. So we model it. We want to just name that relationship coaching is applicable in the workplace. We are all in relationships as human beings. And one of the longest relationships that takes up most of your day is usually when you're at work. And so in order to have relationship health at work, one of the things that we offer is our professional development series, where we're coming in, we're customizing the work that you and your colleagues do around communication, around resolving conflict, and around that compatibility. Because we recognize that a couple assessments need to happen early on, because what people may feel is a challenge in their workplace culture. Some assessments give them the concrete data to confirm this is really what's happening in the workplace. Is it a communication issue? Is it a vetting issue? Do we have people in incompatible roles? Do we have a ton of conflict that's creating a subculture in departments? And so we offer professional development services. Another offering we have in the workplace is our retreats. So oftentimes leadership or staff retreats will happen, or a combination of both, where they want to get off-site and do some deep, intensive work, but they want the space and freedom from the building, out of the norm, to engage in those practices and those workshops, and also bond with their colleagues. So retreats are another offering. And then finally, we have team building, where we partner with either our golf pros, our escape the room pros. We have different team building sessions that we do in the workplace that oftentimes creates that automatic bond, those lasting memories, but it also infuses the best practices around communication, conflict resolution, and compatibility that we want them to learn. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, because we will be giving you all of the goodies when it comes to all your relationship types. Remember, you are the same individual at home, at work, and in your community. So make sure you subscribe to get more on how to show up in a healthy way at home and in the workplace.
If you have any questions that you want answered, leave them in the comments below.